Okay, Unit 8 is really, really cool because everything that we're doing applies to real life. So what we're going to be doing for Unit 8 is calculating percentages, tax, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so lots of word problems for this one.
That was a good one.
Okay? So, 8.1, we are just calculating percentages. Now that means we have to define percentage first. Percentage is actually just a ratio, but it's always over the same number, 100. Okay? So if I ask you for 80% of something, 80% is the same as 80 over 100. Anytime you ask for a percent, it's that percent over 100. So how do I find a percentage of a given number? So say I want to find 10% of 50. Okay, the first step is we're going to set up a proportion. Now the percentage is going to be over 100, and then we're going to put the smaller number on top and the bigger number on bottom. Okay? Step 2, we're going to cross multiply, and there's going to always be a variable, one part that we don't know. So step 3, we're going to solve for the variable. Alright, example 1. Okay, example 1. We want to find 56% of 25. So the first thing that I'm going to do is set up the proportion. Okay, so just like we did in the last unit. Now, I have 56%. That 56% is always going to go over 100. Always. So whatever has the percentage attached to it is going to go over 100.
Well, we did this last year.
Okay. Now the tricky part is deciding what else goes where. I'm trying to find 56% of 25. So is 25 going to be the bigger number, or is the percentage going to be the bigger number? 25 is going to be the bigger number. So 25 is going to go on the bottom. Okay? Because I'm looking for a percentage or just a portion of the 25. 25 is the whole. So it goes on the bottom just like 100. Okay, because 100 is the whole. Okay, I'm looking for the portion or the percentage of it, so it goes on top like 56. So we're going to make it X. Okay. Okay, so now what do I do to solve for X? Cross multiply. So that gives me 25 times 56 is 1400.
She did it earlier.
Equals X times 100 is 100X. How do I solve for X? Divide by 100.
Wait, X times 100?
Divide. X times 100, yeah.
Oh. Wait, you mean 100 times X?
It does X times 100, 100 times X, same thing. Okay. So if I divide both sides by 100, that gives me X equals 14.
Dude, what is going on?
So what is this saying? This is saying that the number 14 is 56% of the number 25. So these two things are proportional. Okay, 16 is what percent of 200? So first thing I'm going to do is set up my proportion. And Michael asked a really good question. Do you always have to put the percentage on the right? Technically no, but I always do, and it's a lot easier if we do it the same every time. So I always put the percentage on the right. So I would like you to do that as well. Okay, 16 is what percent of 200? Do I know what the percentage is? No, so that's going to be my X. So that goes on the right-hand side, X. And a percentage is always over what number? 100. So this is X over 100 on the right. And I'm looking for 16 is what percent of 200? So is 16 going to go on top or on bottom?
Top.
On top, because it's a smaller number. Which means 200 goes on bottom. So the right-hand side is always going to be 100 on the bottom. On the left-hand side, the smaller number goes on top, the bigger one goes on bottom. Okay. Okay, so how do I solve this guy? Cross multiply. So 200 times x gives me 200x. 16 times 100 is 1600. Okay, how do I solve for x? Divide by 200. So that gives me x equals 8. 8 what? Now this time we're actually looking for the percentage. So what do I have to put? 8%. Example 3. 24 is 40% of what number? The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put over 100 on the right-hand side. Okay? Now, what number has a percentage attached to it? 40. So where's that going to go? Over 100. Whatever has a percentage is always going to go over 100. Okay? Now, 24 is 40% of what number? So is 24 going to go on top or on bottom?
On top.
It's going to go on top. Good job. How did you know? Right, because it's saying that 24 is 40%. So 24 is part of the bigger number. So that's going to go on top, which means that we don't know what the bigger number is yet. So that's our x.
Can we,
What do I do first, guys? Cross multiply. Good. So x times 40 gives me 40x. 24 times 100 is 2400. And then what? Divide by 40. So we get x equals. Okay, these zeros cancel. 4 goes into 24 6 times, but there's also a 0 there, so 60. And doesn't that make sense? Weren't we expecting this number to be bigger than 24?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one you guys are on your own. 4. What percent of 20 is 11? So first thing I'm going to do, I'll help you get set up. Set up a proportion. And what's the one thing we can always put? 100. Okay, now you guys are on your own. Alright, what percent of 20 is 11? So what am I going to put on top on the left-hand side? 11, good. What's going to go on bottom? 20. So what's going to go on top on the right? X, because we don't know what the percentage is yet. Okay, now to do this is easy. We cross multiply. That gives me 20x times, or equals 1100. Divide both sides by 20. Those zeros cancel, and I get x equals
55%.
55%. Okay, who got that one right? So, you guys, just to recap, percent is really just a portion of a whole. So, in order to know what goes on top and what goes on bottom, we have to be able to read the problem and decide what the whole is and what the percentage is. Okay?